I decided that I'm now at the point of my knitting journey where I want to learn how to knit socks. Sock knitters are a legit cult, and I want to be part of that. So my name is Kate. I like to make clothes here on YouTube and talk about thrifting and fashion. Make sure you subscribe if you like those kinds of videos. Let's get started. I do want to buy some new yarn for this. Let's go to the yarn store. Y'all, I just spent so much money. This is what I'm going to use for my socks. I went to Freeman's Creative. If you live in Durham, check them out. One of the people in there asked me if I needed any help, and I was like, well, can you suggest me a sock pattern? Or they showed me on their phone a sock pattern that they use. So I have a little sock pattern now, but I bought some yarn and I spent so much money, and this is how I justified it because I was gonna go. I have so much other stuff to do today. I'm actually like procrastinating doing the things I need to do by making this video. So I was gonna go work at a coffee shop for a little bit. So I was just like, if I make coffee at home, then I can buy one extra hank of yarn because that's girl math or knitter's math. I mean, it's like the same price. So I'm at net zero. Here's everything I got. So I want to do a striped sock, which is why I got like so many different colors. Okay, these are all the yarns that I got. I'm so excited. I love all of these colors so much. So I wanted to do a striped sock, which is what these three are for. And then I saw this. This is such beautiful yarn. I love all of the colors, and I thought this would be good for a sock too, but then I'm kind of going back and forth since like my first sock. I don't want to do too much color work where I could just like use this and just knit a solid pair of socks, but I kind of want to challenge myself. So I'm going to start with this, and then if I have time, I can make another pair of socks in this video possibly. This is all I got, and I love Cascade yarn. I use a lot of their superwash yarn. It's so soft and like it's a really nice wool. Yeah, it's 100% merino wool. So it's very nice wool. Like this was only $6.75, these three were, and this one was like $13. So choosing the needles was kind of difficult because people were saying you should either have the cord be like the length around so all of your stitches could fit on the cord, or have the cord be a lot longer so you can do the magic loop method. So I just bought more needles. I bought these brand new. The cord is 80 centimeters or 32 inches. So this would be good for the magic loop method. And I'm already familiar with the magic loop method, so I figured it would probably be easier for me to just do that method and go with that. And then I found this pair. I just bought one size smaller in case I needed to do ribbing or something, because I usually size down on my needles if I'm doing any ribbing just for like tension. Now I have a bunch of different needles. So I know I told you guys that the lady at the yarn store suggested a sock pattern to me. I kind of went on a search for a different pattern, and I did find another pattern called the Basic Bed Socks by Emily Bouldoin. I'll of course link both the patterns below, but this is the one that I think I'm going to use. I have a lot of techniques to learn for this video, honestly, after like the research that I've been doing. I'm going to take you guys along. So I'll show you guys things as I learn. I haven't even wound my yarn yet, so let me go wind my yarn and then we will start. Okay, we have all of them wound up. I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is sport weight yarn. Now, I was kind of thinking that I was going to do the stripes in pink and green, but now I kind of want to do the stripes in the gray and green and then have like the cuff and the toe and the heel be the pink color. So I think that's what I'm going to do, because then this is like a big pop of color and I think it would look really nice. And if it doesn't, we can just redo it. Not a big deal. I think these socks are knit in like a toe up, if that makes sense. So we're going to start with the toe, which means we're going to start with this gray color. Oh wait, no, I'm dumb. We're going to start with the pink color. So the toe is going to be pink, and then we're going to do the stripes after we do the toe. First thing we need to learn is Judy's Magic Cast On. And who are all these women that have techniques named after them? That's so cool. Judy's Magic Cast On. So I'm going to set you guys up so you can see me do this. I have like everything right here. I have a little notebook for me to write notes down so I don't forget anything. So let's get started on the toe. Okay, I've accomplished the Judy's magic cast on, and it took me a few tries, I'm not gonna lie. It was a little bit difficult because it's not really like casting on like for a normal project, because you're casting on with like both of your needles, but technically I did a different version of the Judy's magic cast on. You don't have to like untwist the back loops, which I don't even know what that means because I've never done the normal Judy's magic cast on. So I just thought I would start with the one where I wouldn't have to do the untwisting because I didn't really know what that meant in the pattern. So I'll link that tutorial down below. It looks super small. So this is like the base of the toe, and then it's gonna build up like from the toe. So this is just like that front seam, even though it's like not a seam. But basically for the next 7 rows, I'm just going to be building the toe box, and it just has like knit front and back increases on each side, which I've never increased that way. So that's another technique I need to add to the list. I just have YouTube pulled up right next to me, so that's how I'm learning all this stuff. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna work the toe for a little bit, and hopefully I can get that done by tonight. And then I think after that, the foot part is all just like stock knit. I've never worked with needles this small, but it's kind of fun. The next day. Who was gonna tell me that sock knitting is so fun? I got a little bit carried away and I didn't film last night. I think I filmed like me finishing up the toe. I did the toe, and then as you can see, I have the stripes. The green is not coming up on camera. I was trying to take a picture of it earlier, but you couldn't really see the contrast as much. It's not perfect, trust me. There's a lot of like little holes, and I think that will just come with like experience knitting in the magic loop because I don't do it that often. And the toe box looks a little weird, but it doesn't look weird on. I think it's just like the shape that it's in. The nice thing about this pattern is that it's kind of measurement based, so I've just been like trying it on my foot. But I have heard that it's kind of complicated to do toe up socks because you have to account for the heel part to like slip over your whole foot. So I'm a little bit worried about that. I think it'll be fine because it doesn't feel too stiff right now. Here is a sneak preview of what it looks like on. Wasn't planning on showing my feet on this channel, but I guess I have to because I'm knitting socks. So that's how it's fitting so far. And I have kind of bigger feet like for my height, to be honest. I wear like a size 8.5, 9-ish, so I'm just gonna like measure it on my foot. They did provide like sizes on the pattern, but I'm just gonna like measure it off my foot because they also included instructions on how to do that too. I did learn that I need to be a little bit more careful around where you like switch the needle out on the magic loop, just because I was leaving holes, especially like right here. You know, the socks aren't perfect, and I was thinking about going back and like fixing it, but at the same time I want my first pair of socks to be like the way that they are, so I can go back and see the progress if I keep knitting socks. And I want it to be a little imperfect because then it's like more special, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know if anyone else is like that. But the other thing that I wanted to make sure that I learned is how to do jogless stripes. And let me explain this to you if you don't know what I'm talking about. So when you knit with stripes in the round, there's a little step up from the next color, and I'll insert a photo of what I'm talking about. I didn't want it to look like that. I didn't want there to be like a mismatch. So I looked up a way to fix that, and it's very easy. I actually used 2 different methods. One of them did not work, and I'll show you where I did it. This little section here, obviously here I just didn't have good tension, or like, you know what, it doesn't bother me too much. Like obviously I'm gonna knit another sock anyways, so we can compare the two. So what I was talking about with the jogless stripe is normally you can see like the disconnect or where you switch rows on the stripes, but this method has it so you can't notice it as much. So for these 2 first color changes, I did a different method than these last 3. So this one, I just switch colors and knit the first row around just like normal, and then the first stitch in the next row you just slip it purlwise, and clearly that didn't really work out great for me. Like there's still 2 holes, like you can see exactly where I was doing that method. You can see that here it's a lot cleaner. So for the second method that I tried, which I'll link the TikTok down below. So again, knit a full row of the new color, and then on the first stitch you want to pick up the previous row of the old color, put it on your needle, and then knit those 2 together. And that's how I made a jogless stripe. And it's not perfect, there's a little bit of a mismatch, but unless you were looking really hard, you wouldn't really be able to tell. But I'm getting a lot better with the magic loop too, like this side. So yeah, that's how this is going. And now basically all I need to do is knit the rest of it until I get to the heel part, which I'm very nervous for, but I think I have like a few more centimeters of this, so that's just what I've been doing. I'm doing 4 rows of the green and then 2 rows of the gray. I really like the colors. I wish it came up on camera a bit more because the forest green is actually really pretty, but for some reason it's just not like popping. my knitting grout fit. Guys, I'm so addicted to Sex and the City right now. I cannot stop watching it. Like last night I was trying to do the 12:3:30 treadmill. I did like 12:3:45 because I wanted to finish an episode of Sex and the City. And I'm only on season 3 right now, so don't spoil anything. I think it's time that we start the heel, and I just put in a lifeline or just like a string on all my stitches just in case I need to go back, because I know that the heel is probably the hardest part of this. This whole foot part was just knitting like stockinette, and then this is kind of where it gets a little bit tricky. Now I need to learn how to do a double stitch, which is part of the German short rows. The pattern basically just maps it out row by row, so I'm gonna just try to do it and hopefully it goes well. And I can always frog it back to the lifeline if I need to. I think for the heel, I only work on the back needle, and I'm also going to change back to the pink color because I want the contrasting heel. So I'm going to switch my colors, and it's time to do the heel. Time for an update. It looks like nighttime, but it's actually morning time. The sun just hasn't risen yet. It's that time of the year when the sun goes down so early and then it doesn't come up for a while in the morning. It just makes the days feel so short. This is what I did last night. Guys, I did the heel for the first time. First time I've ever done a heel or any German short rows or double stitches. If you don't know what that is, I didn't either. If you are looking to knit a pair of socks and you're a beginner, like I didn't know how to do it either, but I figured it out eventually. It took me like a few tries to do it. I didn't want to film it because I literally was like hunched over on the couch, like so focused, like checking off every single row that was on the instructions. So I don't think you guys wanted to see that. Building the heel from this side, you do double stitches until you have like a few stitches on the heel, and then you do like the turn. You kind of decrease it in a way, but you still have your double stitches on your needles, but then you build it back up on this side, like building it up the heel, and you basically are doing like double stitches on top of other double stitches, which was kind of confusing. I think that was the most confusing part for me because you could like see them, but also it was, I don't know, it was just a little bit difficult, and I just took my time and really was like focused. I did the heel all in one sitting because I didn't want to like mess up or anything. So I'm already back on my gray color, which was my next color, and then I guess I just start knitting like normal again, just like the foot part, just in a stock knit, which will be super easy. So I think that was the hardest part, which is cool because now we're smooth sailing. I mean, I actually think the hardest part is getting to the next sock, because a lot of people say the first sock takes like a few days and then the next sock takes like years or months because they just can't get around to starting it. But I'm gonna do it for this video. It's incentive to show you a pair of socks. So I'm just gonna knit up the leg now, but I'm just gonna try it on as I go and see how it works out. I will see you in a little bit with another update. So I did run into a little bit of an issue with the heel. As you can see, there's a big hole there, but I think it was more because I was adding new colors and I could probably tighten them once I weave in the ends and stuff. Even on this side too, there's a little hole. Also, I feel like that's just a common area where holes might develop, just like when you're picking up sleeve stitches in a sweater. There's just sometimes like little holes and stuff, so there's probably a way to fix that. If you have any tips with that, let me know in the comments. But I mean, it fits, so that makes me pretty happy. I feel a little bit accomplished even though I haven't finished yet, but as long as it fits, I will wear it. I did the rest of the leg part, and then I also did the ribbing back in the pink color. I did a 2x2 rib, but I'm kind of regretting it now. Kind of wish I did a 1x1 rib. I'm not gonna go back and redo it, so I'm just gonna do a stretchy cast off now, and hopefully then I can fit it over my foot. I think that's a big issue with sock knitting sometimes, is you have to have a stretchy cast off. So I'm gonna do that now, and then I'll be done with the sock. Well, I have to weave in the ends and stuff still, but I totally dropped a stitch like this far down, which is so bad. I can't believe I didn't notice it. So I'm trying to fix it right now. I'm just using this little crochet hook and kind of carrying it back up, and then I'm just gonna tie it off with the new yarn up there. I knew something was off because I didn't have an even amount of stitches for the ribbing, and I thought I might have just knit two together on accident, but it was definitely because I dropped a stitch like 20 rows back. So I'm just gonna fix that right now, and then I'm also weaving in my ends. check it out. I finished my first sock ever, and I'm actually very proud of it. Like I said, I dropped a stitch, but I fixed it. There's a little bit of a kind of weird stitch in the middle there, but I mean, it's literally one stitch, no one will notice. Yeah, it looks kind of very long. I think the way these are constructed too make it look just super long, but this yarn, I used the Cascade Sport Weight 220 yarn. I love it, and I feel like I'll buy that for all the socks I'll be knitting this winter. I think everyone in my family is going to be getting socks for Christmas. So yeah, I finished off with that stretchy bind off. I think I said already that I should have done a 1x1 rib, but I'm not gonna do that for the next sock. I think I'm just gonna keep it as a 2x2 rib because I want them to be even. But definitely the next time I use this pattern, I'm gonna do a 1x1 rib. On the pattern, it said like you could do either. This ended up being a little bit too loose, but yeah. I'm so excited and I'm actually very impressed. I was very intimidated by knitting socks, but I mean, it definitely is not the most even thing, especially around the heel. I had to do a lot of reinforcing with weaving in the ends. And yes, I did weave in the ends already, surprisingly. This isn't really the best way to show you guys my socks, but I'll show them both at the end. I was a little worried because there was a lot of gapping. It was all around where I was changing the colors, which is pretty typical. Once I secured all the ends and stuff, that kind of all went away, and now we have the sock. So I'm not going to show me knitting the next sock because it's the same exact thing as what I just did, but I will come back to you guys after I knit the second sock and I'll tell you how long it took me, and I'll come back to you and we'll do a little try on, and I will see you with the second sock. I finished. I love them so much. They are my new favorite pair of socks, of course. Like, I literally birthed them. These are my babies. I've already been wearing them, and I was like, I don't really want to wear them with shoes because then they'll wear and get holes and stuff. But honestly, I'm one of those people that, like, wear your clothes, wear your shoes, you know? Don't be so afraid of ruining them, because one, you can always make another pair if you make your own clothes. And also, like, you've spent so much time on them, like, wear them, you know? I feel like a lot of people are very intimidated by sock knitting, and rightfully so, because I had to learn so many new techniques. I've been knitting, honestly, not that long. Like, I haven't been knitting for 10 years or anything like that, but I've been knitting for a while and I've picked up a lot of new techniques, but I had to learn quite a few of Judy's Magic Cast On, German short rows, the double stitches, knit front to back, and then just practicing with the magic loop. But yeah, I just feel like sock knitting is a whole new genre of knitting. But since I started these socks, it's all I can think about. All I can think about is sock knitting. And I even started a new pair of socks. I showed you guys the yarn in the beginning, but they're just a solid color. So this one doesn't have any stripes or color changes, but it is like a gradient. See, this yarn I thought was going to be self-striping, but it's actually just one gradient. So it will never come around to the same color. Honestly, not really my favorite thing ever, but now that I'm this far and I realize that this far in, I just have to keep going with it. But it is cool. It is a cool sock. I think I might gift them. Socks are such a portable project, especially if you're doing it with just one ball of yarn. I don't really work on this at home that much. I just put it in my purse and then I work on it wherever I am because it's so small and compact, so you can kind of just take it wherever. And I cannot believe that this pattern was free. This pattern was free. So I will say that pattern is a very good starting point, especially because most of it is stock knit anyways. There's not any crazy like texture or anything, but now I feel more confident to go out and buy patterns that have the same toe up construction because I know how to do that for the most part. And I have so many socks pinned on my Pinterest right now. There's just so many like colors and textures and stuff. I'm all for sock knitting all winter. The only thing is they take so long. I think I told you guys that that last one took like 6 or 7 hours or something. I think probably total I spent 16 hours knitting a pair of socks, which is crazy to me because at first I was like, everyone in my family is getting socks for Christmas, but then I realized how long they were going to take. I was like, no, I'm sorry, I can't do it because they're not going to be appreciated. Not that my family wouldn't appreciate it, but it's a lot. Now that I know how to do it, it might be a little quicker. I mean, these are also taking forever, even though I'm not doing any color changes. But yeah, I feel like the basic bed socks pattern is a really good base pattern to start with, and then you can add like whatever color work and stuff you want to it. This was surprisingly a very requested video, which I didn't know that many people wanted to get into sock knitting. A lot of people were like, I want to get into it, but I don't know where to start. So hopefully this video inspires you to try to make your own socks. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me knit these socks. Hopefully I gave some good advice or at least entertained you while you knit some of your own socks. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and make sure you subscribe. It really helps me and lets me know to keep making videos like this. Comment down below your favorite sock patterns. I would love to try out another pattern, maybe with some more texture, or any advice for knitting socks so you can give other people some ideas. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.